My name is Wallace Gator Bradley, and I'm the host of the Bradley Report. I'm also the president of United in Peace, Inc. And this show was brought together by none other than the chairman of United in Peace, Inc. And she's also the director and the producer, is Terry Marsh Bradley. That's my wife, and I am so blessed. And the technical wherewithal to make this show possible is being done by none other than Brother Omari. I got a lot of topics I want to share with you, but something that's very important is having the right to vote. Ex-felons in the state of Illinois, they have a right to vote once they are released. They are known, or we are known as returning citizens. I'm blessed to be a pardoned ex-felon. As y'all know, I'm a political consultant. And without further ado, Brother Omari, to God be the glory, here's our story. Hit that story right there.
Raise your hand if you thought formerly incarcerated people lose their right to vote. Don't be embarrassed, I did too. But I've recently learned that isn't always the case. And now thousands of people in Illinois correctional facilities are learning that too. And it's all because of this piece of legislation, Illinois House Bill 2541, i.e. the Re-Entering Citizen Civics Education Act. It created a mandatory civics curriculum for people who are about to re-enter society. And the classes break down the basics of voting, elections, and our government. Sounds interesting, right? So I talked to someone who helped make this bill a reality, Alexandria Boutros. She's the Community Organizing Director for Chicago Votes, a nonpartisan nonprofit.
House Bill 2541, now public law, started off as just an idea. So I was a college student at DePaul University. I got involved with a program that brings higher education to people who are incarcerated. So we did a class project together, and it resulted in a survey being created by my colleagues who are currently incarcerated at Stateville. And they passed around that survey, and the basic results came out saying that the majority of people said that they are very interested in voting. They followed the 2016 presidential election very closely. If they had the right to vote in prison, they would. And if they had access to civic lessons, they would inside prison. Specifically peer-taught civic lessons, so by folks that are also incarcerated. And so out of that, we thought, well, this is a bill.
So with the help of Alex's professor, Dr. Christina Rivers, and several others, including Representative Sonia Harper, the bill became law in January of 2020.
So it's supposed to be 3 standalone 90-minute courses. The first one is the power of elections. The second is voting 101. And the third is government 101. And in every single course, someone practices filling out a voter registration form, and in every course, someone practices filling out a sample ballot, right? No matter which course you do, no matter if you are in a course and suddenly a clemency is signed and you are released early that day, you have at least practiced.
That's really important for people in Illinois, because when your prison sentence is complete, you're eligible to vote, even if you're on parole or probation. Now keep in mind, that's not true for every state, so you want to do some research. California, Washington, and Virginia are just some of the other states pushing for legislation that re-enfranchises people in or recently out of prison.
Most people think that if you have a felony, you lose your right to vote forever, which is horrible and results in a much larger form of voter suppression, right? Because people don't know, so they don't vote, and there isn't public education to ensure that people getting out of prison know that their right to vote is going to be restored.
In class, people also learn about different case studies, voting history, the differences between political parties, and the branches and levels of government. Think of the courses as a more concise and direct version of what people learned in their government or civics classes in school. But for some reason, it seems like none of us remembered this stuff, despite how important it all really is.
Civics is everything from voting to talking to your lawmakers to court watching. And so when we talk about civic engagement, it's much more beyond voting, because voting is just one part of this larger democratic system. We have to be involved at every step of the process. Democracy must be a way of life.
You know, there's another story I'm gonna bring up, and it's dealing with a young man by the name of Gerald Reed. And it's key because that piece that I showed you where returning citizens or ex-felons understand that you have the right to vote, the power to vote. Do you know that criminal justice reform came from individual men and women that were either wrongfully convicted or they got bogus sentences? The call that they put out from behind the wall to community activists and advocates such as myself has made it where they could now see the laws that you're pushing. I was in Springfield Monday as they was filing their petitions to get elected to office. Brother Omari, could you show this slide? There you go. That's brother running for judge. That's Jonathan Jackson. He's running for Congress in the 1st Congressional District. That's Tim Wright running for judge in the 5th Sub-Circuit. I drove for 3 hours to make sure that Jonathan Jackson get there to file his petitions, along with his campaign manager, the young lady there, and along with his advisor. That's the guy that's taking their petition to make sure, because they got in line before 8 o'clock so they can get in there and everybody. That's us preparing to leave from the office. I'm showing these things because you got to be civically minded. That's what the other clip that I was showing was explaining to you. Ex-felons, you must register and vote. Okay, that's the governor. I'm supporting him. And there's another clip up there, Brother Omari, that's dealing with, it says, the filing number 2 in Springfield. Let's see. Now go up to the next one. Omari. Right, that story right there, where it says, yes, sir. That's the governor. I'm in full support of him. He in Springfield. He's the right man. He believed in criminal justice reform. Before he became the governor, I was very instrumental in helping him because I know that's the lieutenant governor, okay? We got to make sure that we cannot afford to elect a Republican to become governor. Re-elect Governor J.B. Pritzker and the very beautiful Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton, okay? That power that the young brother right there, Chris, is holding in his hand, those are all the people that signed a petition for a re-election of J.B. Pritzker, okay? The young brother in the brown coat, he was a student at Simeon High School when I was over the local school council. I was the chairman, and my son went to Simeon. Both of them graduated, went to college, and he is helping to elect the next governor. Come down some more. There's one more picture I think I may be it. That's it. I'm showing these things to you because I walk it like I talk it, okay? And the next story we want to get on is Gerald Reed. Go up to the top, right there. I hope you can get that story. Oh, man. Let me see. Are you trying to put up the story, Gerald Reed? I was hoping you could get that story. If you Google Gerald Reed and the story should come up. While he's doing that, Gerald Reed is he's out now because of the governor granting him a pardon. He had been locked up for 28 years, and the judge had gave him a chance to get a new hearing because he was tortured. And the judge had gave him a new hearing because he was tortured by John Burge now, okay? He ended up with a bad judge and a corrupt special prosecutor who violated that judge's court order, giving him the chance to have another trial, okay? And they end up sending him back to the penitentiary for another 2 years, which made it 30 years. And Governor J.B. Pritzker freed him. But the first sign of freedom that Gerald Reed felt when the judge gave him a new trial was when they came to his cell at county jail and they told him that he was allowed to vote. And that was his first taste of freedom, what he told me, okay? He knew that he was free when he was able to vote. And suffice to say, he cast his vote for Tony Pretwick, okay? Let's see. If you can't put it up, Brother Omar. Let's go with this story right here. I think it should be something. Let's see here. I'm gonna try to put it up, get it for you. But anyway, let's go to the next story with the president, President Biden in healthcare. President Biden has pushing this bill and this law against the nursing homes. Yeah, that's it right there, Mari. Can you hit the story and bring it up? Let me see. I see it on the screen. Go up to the. No, go up. Come down. I'm sorry, my bad. You see where the little blue thing is? Where it says right there. Yeah. There you go. Thanks, man. Biden unveils a nursing home quality improvement plan. President Joe Biden announced reforms February 28th to boost nursing home staffing and oversight, citing COVID death data. Brother Mark, could you hit that where it says close? Right there. Thanks, man. The plan, which will be carried out by CMS, has three main goals: improve the quality and safety of nursing homes, protect vulnerable residents and the healthcare heroes who care for them, and crack down on bad actors. there will be 10 main initiatives to achieve the program's goals. One of them is to establish a minimum nursing home staffing requirement, strengthening the skilled nursing facility value-based purchasing program, reinforcing safeguards against unnecessary medications and treatments. That is very serious. That, in my opinion, need to be number one, because they be giving a lot of the patients within the nursing homes psychedelic drugs and everything to silence them. They can't move. They giving them medications that they shouldn't be taking, okay? Number 4, reducing resident room crowding. Adequately funding inspection activities. That's important because we have a Nursing Home Care Act, which is the law in the state of Illinois. And for some reason, the director of the Illinois Department of Health refused to enforce that law. But now she's retiring. For whatever the reason may be, the last day is on the 14th, and I pray that the governor would ask her to enforce that law. That would be a good piece to add to her legacy, regardless if they say she had a scandalous time within being a director. Okay, let's let her leave off a positive thing by enforcing that law. And it fits right in with what the president is talking about. Okay, beefing up scrutiny of poor performing facilities. That's what the Nursing Home Care Act would do, right there. Thanks, Mark. That's what the Nursing Home Care Act would do. Okay, it would release the hands of the 102 county state's attorneys, especially Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx, and it will release the hands of the Illinois Attorney General to go in and investigate these bad nursing homes. Right now, they can't do it because the governor has to enforce that law that's on the books. I know they're talking about making new laws, but then that don't go into effect until 2023, okay? The law that's on the books now can help save lives, okay? It can help increase the accountability of the chain owners and substandard facilities, okay? I'm speaking about Sava in Westchester, the nursing home and the rehabilitation facility that was responsible for over 13 people dying. So many people. There's a young lady by the name of Loretta Brady that's suing Sava on behalf of her mother, okay, for willfully neglect, all right? And it's so wild. The reason I bring that up, the attorneys that she had hired and signed a contract to help her, okay, because of their actions, it gives one the appearance of impropriety on behalf of those attorneys, because they have done some shady things, okay, to her, to the point that now they put in a motion to no longer represent her because she brought it to their attention. She was receiving no righteous communication as far as knowing what was being filed on her behalf, okay? And then they make a move based on their actions, and they give them the inference like they're trying to blackball her and make it hard for her to find another attorney to represent her on behalf of her mother, who's now deceased, okay? This is serious. That nursing home thing is a serious racket. Number 9, providing technical assistance to nursing homes to aid in improvements. Improving transparency so that potential residents and their loved ones can make informed decisions about care. Groups representing skilled nursing homes had mixed reactions to President Biden's announcement. Could you pull it up a little bit, Brother Marty? Brother Marty, could you pull the story up for me a little bit? Just a little bit. Right, a little bit more. Right there. Groups representing skilled nursing facilities had mixed reactions to President Biden's announcement. Mark Parkson, President and CEO of the American Healthcare Association, thanked the administration for the increased efforts but questioned the implementation of some components. Evidently, American Healthcare Association has to be the lobbying group for the nursing homes. Okay, so they getting a pass on everything else. They trying to make laws within the state of Illinois, I know, where the elected representatives are not pushing for the enforcement of the Nursing Home Care Act. So therefore, bad nursing homes continue to get Medicaid money and everything else, and they violating all the rules when it comes to the safety of the seniors within the nursing homes. I'm not telling you what I think or assume, I'm telling you about the facts. And I found all this out by the suit that was filed against Salva Nursing Home. It's on the record. You're going to hear more about it later on. Additional oversight without corresponding assistance will not improve resident care, Mr. Parkinson stated. To make real improvements, we need policymakers to prioritize investing in this chronically underfunded healthcare sector and support providers' improvements on the merits that matter for residents. There's no greater thing that matters for residents than for them to get proper care, okay? Proper care. Not to be left there where they getting bad sores because the nursing homes are not taking care of them. And they getting bad and wrong medications because the nursing homes don't care about them. All they care about is getting more money, more money, more money, more money, and less care, okay? Katie Sloan, President and CEO of Leading Age, a nonprofit advocate for services for older adults, also expressed gratitude about the initiative, but called on policymakers to recognize Medicaid's shortcomings. We know that the transparency, quality improvement, and workforce investments are critical to building better nursing homes for Americans' older adults and families, Ms. Sloan wrote in an email statement. Yet Medicaid, the dominant payer of long-term care services, doesn't fully cover nursing homes' cost of quality care. Regulation and enforcement, even with the best intentions, just can't change that math. Money, money, money. So I want to say this, because it's about time for me to close out. We got to do everything in our power to make sure that J.B. Pritzker stay the governor of the state of Illinois. We can't let the Republican Party that Trump created, the Republican Party that wants to bring a governance back to Illinois with the same intentions that the former Republican governor had, and they didn't care about child care. So you know they're not going to be concerned about health care for senior citizens. We got to have a Secretary of State that's a Democrat, and I hope they elect Alexis Janulius. I'm asking the residents of Cook County to please elect good judges. We can't afford to have bad judges, or we'll end up with the same type of situation that Gerald Reed went through to the point that the governor had to give him clemency, I want to say elect Judge Rena Marie Van Tyne to the circuit court. Elect Judge Thomas Donnelly to the circuit court. Elect Deidre Bowman to the circuit court. Elect Tim Wright to the 5th Sub-Circuit, and elect Sanjay Taylor to the 9th Sub-Circuit. Bad lawyers and bad prosecutors bring about bad judges. Bad lawyers and bad prosecutors bring about bad judges on the bench. And I'm saying we cannot have bad judges. So pay attention to the judges. Pay attention to those that want to run against judges. And if it's a bad lawyer that's been suspended, please do not consider them to be on the bench. Because bad lawyers and bad prosecutors, especially special prosecutors, don't need to be a judge. And with that, I want to say to God be the glory. Get out and vote. Don't choke. And the June 28th, 2022 election. Keep Illinois blue. We can't go back to the era of Ronald. I don't care how much money they put in this. And we can't have a Republican that supports what Trump is doing and still think Trump got cheated out of the election. Because if they get in, if it's a Republican Secretary of State or Republican governor, they're going to suppress our votes. So let me wrap it up. I want to say to God be the glory. That's my story. Vote, don't choke.